Countdown. Oh. Hey guys, this is Wayman Daniels, the host of Level Up. How you guys doing today? And thank you for showing up to a live podcast with my special guest, Balkis Walker, a realtor from the DMV. Now, you guys are probably wondering DMV, not Department of Motor Vehicle. No, that's not it.
Uh-uh.
Can you tell them what DMV stands for? Because I was lost when I first saw it.
That means DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Okay,
That's what we
D's.
call it here in this region. We call it the DMV.
All right, so you guys got it firsthand, the DC, Maryland, Virginia region. So can you tell us, and welcome to the show, welcome to Level Up. How are you this
Thank you.
beautiful
Thank you for
afternoon?
having me. This is great.
You're so welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about you, a brief introduction?
Um, let's see. I've I'm retired from the military. I was in the Air Force Reserves for
Mhm.
more than 25 years. And so I
Wow.
was a career reservist.
Hmm.
Um, Let me see. I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years. Um, let's see. I got started. How it all happened
Hmm.
was I was on a tour, on a military tour, and I just saw some things happening, and I like to read, and
Hmm.
so I happened to read the book "Who Moved My Cheese."
Oh, I like that. I like that. I read that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I saw myself in that
Hmm.
because my tour it wasn't a permanent tour.
Hmm.
So I'm like, what are you going to do, Belkis, should they decide not to renew your status as far as you being on this tour?
Hmm.
And I said, well, you know how you get to talking to yourself. And
Hmm.
um, I said, well, I had taken the real estate course before, a few years prior to that. And I
Yes.
said, you know what? I do still have an interest in real estate. And I decided to take the course again, kept
Hmm.
my business to myself, didn't tell anybody to make sure that I could still maintain my schedule because, as soon as somebody finds out that you're trying to make moves, they want to try to throw a monkey wrench in your game.
Right, right, right,
You
right.
have to, stay a couple steps ahead of them.
Hmm.
And I took it on what I think it was like Tuesday and Thursday and all day Saturday, Tuesday
Hmm.
and Thursday evening, all day Saturday. So it took me about 4 weeks to
Okay.
nail it down. Excuse me. I had scouted out, broker that I had wanted to hang my license with
Hmm.
after I finished my class. I did all of that research. So I took my class, passed it, took the exam, passed it first time,
Hmm.
and went and hung my license, with the broker that I was affiliated with. And when they came to me, when my supervisor came to me and said, well, Belkis, we're not going to renew your status and
Hmm.
this, that, and the other, I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's fine.
Right, right,
But if you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell a home, let me know. Lock my
right,
card
right.
on the table, walked out.
Mhm. So,
and I
uh,
and I went on to do full, real estate full time,
well,
fresh out the gate,
mhm.
and it was not easy.
Okay.
It was a challenge, but
Hmm.
it was a welcome challenge. I needed it. I
Right.
needed something that would push me, something that would um, make me get out there and really just go after it. And
Hmm.
that's what I did. I was with that particular broker for 6 months.
Okay.
Um, Transferred to another broker, stayed there for a couple of years,
Mhm.
and I've been with Remax for what more than 15 years now. Yeah, a little more than
So,
15 years now. So,
so
um,
let me ask you a question because you brought back a memory. Who stole my cheese? For those for those that
move
don't
my
know,
cheese. Yeah.
yeah, for those that don't know about that book, can you just give them a quick synopsis of what it's about and how it inspired you?
Well, it tells a story about I think it's what 3 mice, 3 or 4 mice,
Hmm.
and they're all in a different predicament.
Right.
There's one mouse that's um, just going along happy go lucky.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is thinking about his future. The
Mm-hmm.
other one is, you know, complaining about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and instead of trying to devise, a plan for himself, he wants to
Right.
complain. The other one's planning, the other one's happy go lucky.
Right.
And behind the scenes, there was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
And there was only one mouse who paid attention
Mm-hmm.
to what was going on in the background.
Right.
That happened to be that was me.
Right. 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 Right.
I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
So when when I saw myself in that scenario,
Mm-hmm.
I said, Balkis, you had better have a plan for yourself
Mm-hmm.
just in case.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's tough to, be thrown into a situation
Mm-hmm.
and you're not expecting it. And the only
Mm-hmm.
reason you're not expecting it is because you're not paying attention.
And attention. Right.
You have to pay attention to what's happening in the
Mm-hmm.
foreground, in the background, on the left side, on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like a saying that they have here in the DMV. Say, yeah, you always got to have your head on the swivel.
Right.
You always got to be paying attention.
That sounds like a lot of wisdom because you had a feeling that they wasn't going or they weren't going to renew you in the
Yeah,
military.
you
Right.
you you
Hmm.
just have to be cognizant
Right.
of the players of the game
Okay. And so
and
you
know where
made
you stand.
plans for to become a realtor. And since you made that move, how do you feel? Are you at peace because that's where you know you're supposed to be?
It is,
Okay.
but even with knowing that,
Hmm.
life does throw you some curveballs.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So let's
Life does
talk.
throw you some curveballs, and with that,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
though you have your plan and you're moving along, when
Yes.
life throws you curveballs, you have to know how to react.
So
Whether you're
let's
going to
talk
dodge
about
it,
those.
catch it.
Let's talk about those curveballs because life. I was just talking to my wife, as a matter of fact, and several other people. Life threw me a curveball this past week, and my baby brother passed,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
so it threw me a great big curveball. But you know what, Balkis? I still had to stay on my course and stay at the plate to play the game because when these curveballs come, it shows who you are as a person. Are you focused? Are you determined to still be there, to be who you were destined to be? Now, I'm not saying that you don't get discouraged or it doesn't hurt, but what I'm saying is I still have to stay focused because I still have a job to do. And what is my job? It's to enlighten others, to encourage others to be the best person or the best version of themselves. So, talk to us about the curveballs that had happened in your life and how did you handle those curveballs?
Um, well, Wayman, I shared with you a little bit about my story
Mhm.
a while ago, and I talked about being homeless not
Mhm.
once, not twice, but three times.
Okay.
Um, I can get more detail about that later. I mean,
Hmm.
but it was that last time that really
Hmm.
just like made me gnash my teeth in and say, I must do something different. I want
Right.
something different to show up. So
Hmm.
guess what? In order for something different to show up, you got to do something different.
Different. Right. Right.
And with that, um, the ups and downs of the real estate industry, you have to learn to deal with the ebb and the flow of it.
Hmm.
Sometimes the market is good, is really rocking and rolling for you,
Hmm.
and sometimes it's not so kind.
Right. Okay.
And there was a time when it wasn't so kind, and I had to handle it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I said, Belkis, maybe you know, don't turn away from it,
Right.
but step into something different for a little bit to make sure you got, you can uh, uh, at least eat.
Right.
You
Okay.
can at least try to maintain yourself. Um, and I had to go and get a job.
Hmm.
wanted to do, but um, it was a necessity.
Well, let's talk about this because we were talking prior to coming on, and plus we talked when I went down to the DMV, and I met you. I think it was probably maybe a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and you shared a part of your story, and we were saying or talking about how people they stereotype or stigmatize how a homeless person is supposed to look. Can you share with them what we talked about so that people will understand it's not just one dimensional, but it's a broad spectrum of what homelessness looks like?
I was working full time
Mm-hmm.
and I was homeless.
Full-time job, yes.
Full time job with good benefits
Mm-hmm.
and homeless.
Yes.
So homelessness isn't always the person that's standing on the corner with a sign in the hand and the cup
Yes.
sign in front of them and the cup in the hand.
Yes.
Homelessness is truly defined as not having a place that you are responsible for. You don't
Yes.
have a signed lease. You don't have a mortgage. If you just, oh, I'm staying with cousin JoJo and
Mm-hmm.
them just until I get myself back together, baby,
Yeah.
you're homeless because it's somebody else that's responsible for the utilities.
That's
It's
right.
somebody else that's responsible for making sure that there's food on the table, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera, et cetera. All the amenities are taken care of.
Yes.
You're not responsible for any of that. Guess what? You're homeless, honey.
Yes. Yes.
And that's sad to say. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's in the shelter.
That's right.
Um, I mean, if you do not have a signed lease that you're responsible for,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you are homeless. So
Wow.
staying with mama, staying
Mm-hmm.
with your cousins,
Mm-hmm.
auntie, and uncle, and you're not responsible, you're not ultimately responsible for any of that,
Mm-hmm.
are homeless.
Wow. Balkis, I never heard it broken down that way before. And it brought, it made me a little emotional because I've been there. I've been exactly where you're talking about. And that's a bad feeling. That's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about now is what gave you the push to get beyond where you were to become who you are today. Because it didn't diminish who you are, but it
No.
was just a place in the game that you were at that particular moment. So talk to us about that. How did you come out of that place of being homeless to being where you are now?
And and even if it's not a situation as to where, you just couldn't pay your rent or whatever, that wasn't the case with me.
Yes.
So it wasn't that I couldn't pay. It wasn't that
Hmm.
I had been irresponsible in any way,
Right.
but there were some circumstances that were placed in my path, and
Hmm.
I had to stand up and overcome those circumstances. And
Yes.
with that, yes, I maintained my privacy, my dignity.
Hmm.
I had to,
Hmm.
because I know who I am on the inside.
Yes.
And knowing who you are on the inside means a whole lot when it
Yeah.
comes to you overcoming those obstacles.
Hmm.
Um, Knowing that you can do better, knowing that you deserve better.
Yes.
Um, so just with that, and knowing that you have you do have people who look up to you, whether you know it or not.
That's
You
true.
don't know who's watching you.
That's true.
So, it could be one of your little cousins, it could
Hmm.
be another relative, or just somebody who just admires you from afar and be like, wow, they really got it going on. And they really have no idea your life is turned upside down.
Right. 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 Right.
um, but just having the absolute sheer determination
Hmm.
and knowing that you can overcome it.
You can't overcome it.
You sometimes you have to humble yourself and ask
Hmm.
for the help.
Hmm.
And a lot of times that's difficult for a lot of people to do.
Right. Right. Right.
Sometimes, but baby, swallow that pill, get over it,
Hmm.
because pride never kept roof over nobody's head or food on their table.
That's right.
So, and there are a lot of organizations that are genuinely willing
Hmm.
to help you when you show that you are trying to help yourself.
Help yourself.
Once you put out there that you are really trying to help yourself and overcome your
Mhm.
situation, those doors will fly open so fast.
Yes, yes.
I mean, and you have to learn how to open your mouth and use your resources.
Hmm.
Well, like my
Hmm.
grandmother used to say, you have to learn how to use your head for more than a hat rack.
Well, I like that. As you speaking right now, and you say you have to know yourself, and then we talk about you have to use the resources. But the first thing I want to touch on is understanding who you are. And we hear this saying a lot, Balkis. Know who you are. But how can we help those that are searching for who they are and they're lost with their identity and don't know who they are? How did you get to the place that you understood Balkis Walker and who you are and who you were? How did you get to that place? Because a lot of people are still searching. And I want to say this before we go any further, because a lot of people are doing what their mothers and fathers have told them to do, and they believe that's who they are, but deep down they know that's not where they're supposed to be. How did you get to that place where you understood who you were and who you are?
One, it has to feel right on the
Mhm.
inside,
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
first and foremost.
Hmm.
And if you can't figure out how it really feels on the inside, then,
Hmm.
you know, don't be afraid to rely on a
Yeah.
higher source if that
Yes.
is what is how you believe.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not, advocating any type of religious dogma or anything like that.
Yes.
But whatever it is that you choose to believe,
Hmm.
as something greater than you,
Yes.
then grasp a hold of it,
Yes.
hold
Yes.
on to it, and
Yes.
run with it.
That's so.
And that feeling in itself will help you to find who
Hmm.
you really are on the inside.
Yes. Yes. And I go back to a biblical saying, not even a biblical saying, but this guy by the name of David. His father was named Jesse, and Jesse told him who he should be, which was a shepherd. Go tend the sheep and go tend the flock, as a matter of fact. And he done what his father told him to do because he respected what his father said. But it parallels, or it makes sense to what I just said previously, that sometimes people can try to predict who you are and what you should do, but that's not what you're supposed to do. And then here come a man who comes and anoint David king. But his father thought he should have been a shepherd, but God told him, "You're more than a shepherd. I want you to become the king." Isn't that amazing? Sometimes when our family members can say, "Wayman, I want you to become a doctor. I want you to become a lawyer. I want you to become this. I want you to become that." And we end up doing that and we don't be happy. And I
Very
just think
true.
about I just think about that. But then I go to another person by the name of Joseph. Joseph understood who he was. He went and told his brothers that y'all gonna bow down to me. And guess what, Balkis? In the process of becoming who he was, life threw him various curveballs. He was put into the pit.
Hmm.
He was sold into slavery. He went to prison. But yet it did not deter him from being who he was destined to be because he knew who he was. That sounds like you. Because when life threw you all these curveballs, you know, that's what Balkis knew who she was. She
I'm not gonna let this get me down.
huh?
You can't let it get you down.
Can't let it get you down, but you stayed focused and you kept moving towards your destiny and your purpose because you understood who you were and who you are today. And I want to applaud you for that. Thank you for staying on course because you inspire me. When I heard you talk 3 weeks ago, I mean, when I heard it, my ears just went. I just my ears just like, yo, listen to what she said because it was so powerful and it was so authentic. And that's what I love about you because you're very authentic. And I was reading up on some stuff about you, some literature on you, and I noticed that you're not only a realtor, but you do your own talk show for the radio station. Can you tell us about that?
Well, that was a little while ago, but I
Hmm.
mean, it's something that I do hold near and dear to my heart. That
Hmm.
experience was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
It gave me the opportunity to, really get out there and share information
Hmm.
about real estate. And real estate is more than just buying or selling a home
Okay.
or renting a home or leasing commercial property.
Hmm.
You also have to have knowledge when it comes to the upkeep of it. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of the information that I put out there
Hmm.
about home upkeep, things to help improve your property values,
Yes.
um, what to do during the certain seasons as
Hmm.
far as making sure that the gutters were clean,
Right.
um, the, the different types of professionals that you need to have in your arsenal when it comes
Hmm.
to your electrical systems, your
Hmm.
plumbing systems, um, things to do, things not to do.
Hmm.
Also talked about if you were in a position you weren't a
Hmm.
leasing and you wanted to become a homeowner, the
Hmm.
proper steps to take, things you need to make sure that you have in place in order to be able to take the right steps to
Hmm.
move you in the direction of home ownership.
Okay. So, Balkis, let's talk about this. Let's deal with the person who wants to sell their home. How do they know who to choose as a realtor to trust a realtor with their possessions that they love so dear? Because when
Okay.
you own a home, you just can't give it and trust anybody to sell it because you want the best realtor, you want the best person to advise you. How do you find that person?
Well, you can do interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can ask friends who have purchased home who
Mm-hmm.
they used. You can ask uh, people if they know anybody,
Mm-hmm.
whether they be friends, whether they be relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ask if any of those persons, if they had, the level of the quality of their
Mm-hmm.
experience with a realtor.
Right, right. Okay.
That is what really matters
Mm-hmm.
to a home seller. It's the quality of their interaction. Is
Right.
that somebody who is really paying attention to
Mm-hmm.
what their needs are when it comes to selling their home?
Right.
Are they giving attention to things that need to be done and
Mm-hmm.
being brought to the homeowner's attention?
Right.
Giving them ideas to do things to help them with proper presentation of their
Mm-hmm.
home when it
Mm-hmm.
comes time to put it on the market,
Right.
when it comes to proper pricing,
Mm-hmm.
because the home seller may want have one idea of what the price
Right.
should be,
Mm-hmm.
and the realtor have a different idea. And
Right.
if and a lot of times they don't come together,
Right.
but as long as the realtor can convey to the home seller
Mm-hmm.
information, pertinent information, not just
Mm-hmm.
information, but
Right.
pertinent
Right.
information.
Right.
And when I say pertinent information, I'm speaking of uh, comparables in their neighborhood that
Mm-hmm.
are sold within the past 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
whether the kitchen was updated, whether the bathrooms were updated, what types of
Mm-hmm.
amenities they had in their home, how old is their roof, had
Mm-hmm.
they had certain things replaced in the homes,
Mm-hmm.
talking about plumbing fixtures,
Right.
things like that. And there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of inexpensive things that can be done to help, you know,
Mm-hmm.
boost that cost up, make that home more appealing to a buyer.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so when it comes to selecting a proper realtor for a home seller, they might want to take into consideration, well, do they work alone? Are
Right.
they on a team? See, I'm on a team.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Mm-hmm.
the different things that I did
Right.
when I decided I was jumping back into this full steam.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm with the Hayward Homes team of Remax specialists. Now, I've
Okay.
always been with Remax specialists, but I said, you know what, getting back into this, and really digging in deep,
Mm-hmm.
what is it different that I can do to help make me more appealing to
Mhm.
a consumer who's looking to purchase or to sell.
Right, right.
And I decided to join a team.
Mhm.
And one of the beautiful parts about that is that so it's not just me all the
Right.
time. Let's say
Mhm.
I have a need to go away. Let's say that home is on the market
Mhm.
and something is going on, and I can have one of the team members step in,
Mhm.
on my behalf to make
Right.
sure that that seller is still taken care of.
Mhm.
They're not just floundering in the wind waiting for me to get back. Even though
Right.
with modern technology, yes,
Mhm.
Zoom call, we can text, we
Right.
can do all these types of things. But if there's something that's going on and they
Mhm.
need someone physically there,
Right.
the team concept gives the opportunity for that to take place.
That sound. You know what I like what you said though. It was two key words that I liked that you said. That the realtor hears the need and pays attention to the seller. And that's so important because that makes the a person feel like they're valued and what they're saying is valued. And I think that is so key. So I really, really, let me say it again, really, really, really like that part because that lets me that shows me that you are invested in the person, not
Yes.
so much as the property, because you're looking at what the seller wants and needs. And you're the professional and you're going to help them get the best for their property or their investment. So let's talk about this, Balkis, because a lot of people don't understand or realize, or some people, I had a friend of mine who had owed on their home. They were still paying a mortgage on their home, but they wanted to sell their home. Can you tell people how to go about doing that? And here I was talking again to this person, and the market paid them over what they intended to sell it for, and they made a major profit. But then again, is it really a major profit? Because when you go back to buy another home, is it? So talk to us about that because sometimes we're thinking we're making a profit here, and sometimes we're spend over what we paid for and keep the money in the bank that we paid for the home, thinking that the next home is going to be at that same price that we paid for the original price for that our first home. So talk to us
That
about that. Yeah.
don't work like that. That's that one that's
Mhm.
part of the ups and downs in the different aspects of where the market is and what's taking place out
Mhm.
there in the economy
Yeah.
and the area that you choose to live.
Mhm.
Let's say, uh, for instance, now originally I'm from Ohio.
Okay.
Home prices are not as high as they are here in the DMV.
Mhm.
So yes, I could, have a home here in the DMV. I only paid, let's say I only paid $250,000 for
Okay. Mhm.
10, 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And here it is now 10 years later. I'm walking away with a nice hefty sum.
Right. Mhm.
Let's say I'm walking away with 200,000 after you
Mhm.
know, uh, all debts are settled.
Mhm.
And if I'm looking for another home here in
Mhm.
the DMV, guess what? Now I'm subject to those high prices.
Prices. Right. Right.
So guess what? So I'm not sticking $200,000 in my pocket and
Right. Right.
you know I'm off to the bank with my little pot of gold up under my arm
Right.
because
Right.
as I go out to look for a home,
Mhm.
especially if it's a home that I'm looking to do what we call a move up.
Okay. I got Charles here. I'm not sure who Charles is.
Oh,
Did he?
Charles. I know who Charles is.
Did he
That's my
want?
team. That's the team leader of the Hayward Homes team. Welcome, Charles.
Did he want to come on? He could come on if he like. Hi, Charles. Did you want to come on the show, Charles? Did he say anything? I can't add him. Want to add him?
If he'd like to,
Okay,
we
Charles.
welcome.
I'm gonna bring you on to see what happens. So you can continue the talking. Charles, can you hear us?
I can. You all, shame on y'all
Oh,
for putting me out there. when I am not anticipating. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
It's good to have you.
How are you doing, everyone? How are you, Balkis?
Hey there, Charles. Good to have you along. We were talking about, the ups and downs of buying a home.
Mhm.
Especially here in the DMV. Somebody bought a house 20 years ago, paid 250 for it, and now they're selling it.
Mhm.
And after all the dust is settled, they're walking off with 200,000, but they're looking
Yeah.
for an upgrade
Hey,
home.
Charles.
And
Right.
Okay,
I know
Charles,
you
like,
were
wait a minute.
expecting that.
But
It, it, it,
you know what's
it's
so beautiful about all of this, guys? That me and Balkis was just talking about life can throw you a curveball. What are you going to do when the curveball comes? So, Charles, welcome to the game.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So,
Balkis let me know some good things and
yes.
sent out the link. I said, let me
All
make
right.
sure I
So, Charles,
tap in.
tell us a little bit about Charles.
Apologize. We are right in the middle of a. Can you hear me?
Mhm. I can barely hear you going in and out. So, try it again.
Let's see.
Try it out. Yeah. So Marcus, in the meantime, you can keep on talking. We're gonna bring Charles back
Okay,
in.
so
Is that a little
and
bit better?
That's a lot
yeah.
better. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marcus, and
Um,
Charles, we're gonna get back to you, okay?
absolutely.
Okay. Go
So
ahead, Marcus.
so as you're looking for the upgrade home,
Mhm.
they may have better income than what they did when they bought their house at
Mhm.
$250,000. Maybe able to more
Yes.
easily afford a home that's costing five, six, $700,000.
Mhm.
But they might want to keep that money in their pocket. But guess what? That's going to increase that's going to increase your monthly mortgage.
Right.
So but if they decide, they go ahead and put their the equity that they receive, the earnings that they
Mhm.
receive from the sale of their home as
Mhm.
a down payment.
Down payment.
They
Okay.
can do a couple of things. They can help to buy down their interest rate because
Yes.
interest rates are increasing now, so that
Mhm.
makes it a little tough.
Yes.
And or they could opt to put all or part of those funds onto um, down as a into the purchase of their new home
They
and
do.
still have some have a little cushion for themselves.
So they can keep a little coins to themselves.
Yeah, keep a little bit, just a little cushion, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it if they choose not to put anything down.
Yes.
So
Now,
it's
so
just about all their comfort level, their level of comfort.
okay, so let's talk about that because you say put a little coins, but what happens when you make these type of investments and you do own money? You still owe money on your home. I think I'm not sure if I'm wrong about this. Correct me because you're the professional in this area. They call it a short loan or short mortgage or what is that? What do you,
Oh, you're talking about a short sale. That's a
a
whole different
short
ball game.
sale. Okay, talk to me about that because a lot of people deal with the short sale because they owe money on the back and talk to how does that work?
Well, a short sale is when
Hmm.
really they're upside down, what we call upside down in value.
Okay.
Let's say they bought that house 10 years ago
Mhm.
and they bought it at, um, let's say, we'll stick with the $250,000
Mhm.
price range.
Okay.
They might have gotten to a situation where they needed to take funds out of the home, took a little
Mhm.
equity out,
Right.
needed to, pay tuition for college or
Mhm.
possibly do some improvements or might have some medical emergencies or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and when it comes time for them when they make the decision to sell their home
Mhm.
and the value is not there
Not there.
in
Okay.
order for them to be able to sell the home
Mhm.
and make a profit,
Mhm.
that's when you are upside down. When
Upside
you
down.
owe more, when you owe more on the home than the home is truly worth.
Word. Right.
When the
Right.
value is not there, then you're in a situation as to where you may have to do a short sale.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there are a lot of factors to go into play with that.
Mhm.
One, the bank has to first of all be in agreement to it.
Right. 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 Okay.
Otherwise, you're paying to get out of your house.
Paying to get out your house. Wow. And a lot of people find themselves in that situation
And
with the short sale. Right.
so what will happen in most times in a short sale Yes, if the bank does agree on it,
Mm-hmm.
then that residual,
Mm-hmm.
that deficit, this no, I won't say residual, but the deficit that is there,
Mm-hmm.
the bank can turn around and send you a 1099, and that shows as income to you. Now, I'm not
Ooh.
a tax professional.
Right,
I'm
right.
going to talk to one, get all the
Mm-hmm.
ins and outs of that
Right,
to
right.
make sure that, you know, you're not in a bad situation. I would hate
Mm-hmm.
to see that happen to anyone.
Right, right. Okay.
But I do know of some people who that has happened to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Wow.
unfortunate.
Right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, you just need to know what the bank's terms, and make sure that all those terms and all those agreements are put in writing. That is the one thing that is absolutely the most important thing about any
Mm-hmm.
real estate transaction,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a regular resale or purchase or even a lease. Make sure that all agreements are put in writing.
Writing,
If it
yes.
wasn't written, it
Never have.
ain't done.
That's right. Okay. Well, let me see if I can get Charles in. Charles, are you still there? Charles? Hey,
Yes,
Charles.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm still here.
How you doing,
Um,
Charles? Welcome
doing
to
good,
the
doing
Level
good.
Up Show. Can you give our viewers an introduction of who you are, please?
Oh man. The I guess the abbreviated version,
Mhm.
Howard University graduate, 1998.
Okay.
Spent, about 4 years on Wall Street working on the New York Stock Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to leave there and go into financial advising, as
Okay.
a matter of fact. Spent a number of years with UBS Payne Weber, small retirement plans, high net worth individuals. Um, Started wholesaling real estate. I'm not sure how familiar the audience is with wholesaling, but started my career wholesaling real estate. Decided to get my license just as the market was booming. Um, so licensed in 2002, 2001, 2002 time frame. Um, have been full time agent ever since. Very glad to have Balkis on the team, and currently growing a team, looking to move the team and us into the luxury space. So really excited about that. Um, there really isn't much in real estate that I haven't done, from loan officer, being a loan officer, appraiser. I've done rehabs, buy and holds, property management. Um, really like to bring a full scope of
Okay.
possibilities and opportunities when it comes to real estate transactions.
Okay. So what we're gonna do? We just talked about being a homeowner, selling a home. Now we're going to transition to a person who wants, or persons who want to purchase a home. And both of you guys can speak on that, because now, Barkis and Charles, if, like, say for instance, me and my wife want to buy a home, would we go as individual accounts, or would we come as one account? How would we do that and use the assets that we have to get a home and not have a high interest rate? Because Bacchus, you were talking about those interest rates, and what would be considered a high interest rate and what would be considered a feasible interest rate. Because when you are a novice to all this, you can be taken advantage of in the game. So maybe both of you guys can address that. And Charles, I'm gonna go with you first, and then Barkis, you can follow up. Does that work? Does that okay?
That works.
Okay.
I, I would say there is a two-word answer,
Mm-hmm.
that whenever you're asking a question like that,
Mm-hmm.
any professional that is that you ask will always start with these two words.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. it,
Okay.
it, it
Mhm.
depends.
Okay.
There are so many different factors that go into lending, um, and having my background as a financial advisor, and
Mm-hmm.
really understanding how all of the different um, knobs work.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about interest rate, but well, how does the interest interest rate, if you're interest rate sensitive, how does that change depending on the loan program? Well,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's not interest rate. Maybe you're interested more in value. You want quote unquote a deal. Um, well, okay, well, what's a deal to you?
Mm-hmm.
What's your financial standing? A deal for someone who's looking for a $1 million home is different from someone who's looking for a $500,000 home.
Right, right.
So it all depends. That said, all things being equal, and we are in a rising interest rate environment. There's not much we can do about that. I was just looking at an email this morning where most are hovering right around 6.5% already.
Right.
I've seen some as high as 7 and an eighth.
Mm-hmm.
But you're probably not going lower than 5 and 3/8 right now.
Okay.
So they're going up fast. I
Mm-hmm.
don't expect them to stop going up anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they will probably end up mellowing out somewhere around where we are now, maybe a little higher.
Okay.
Um, in the next 12 to 18 months, I would say once the Fed decides to get that foot off of the neck of the U.S. economy.
Balkis, can you answer that? I'm sorry.
But again, yeah, it really depends.
Okay.
There's several loan different products, and
Mm-hmm.
so depending on how much cash you want to use, how much what percentage of it you want to put towards the purchase. If you're open to rehabbing, can you carry two mortgages for a couple of months?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always hesitant to in giving a blanket answer to that question, other than
Mm-hmm.
with the right professional.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to sit down and really tell you how all of the pieces work together, how
Okay.
your loan product is going to affect your appraisal, is going to affect, your down payment, is going to affect your interest rate. Because when you change one,
Mm-hmm.
typically all of the others change as well. And that's what a lot of folks don't quite understand. They say, "Well, I
Mm-hmm.
want a lower interest rate." Well, we can get you a lower interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
but do you have 20% to bring to the table?
Right, right, right.
Oh, well, no, well, that's crazy, Charles. My friend down the street got, such and such rate. Well, he also won the lottery the week before.
Right. So
So,
they do that comparison type thing, and it's not a good thing to do is to compare what someone else done with what you're doing. Well, here's a question for you, Balkis. Prior military, and you know that the military gives you so much towards a home, which is not giving you money, but they're backing you for so much on the home. Now, those that were prior military, how would they go about using that? I forgot what they call it, towards a home or the backing towards a home. How would they go about applying that and getting a lower percentage rate through the military backing? I think it's called a search certificate of. I forgot what they call
It's a VA. It's
it.
what they
Yeah.
call a VA loan certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm glad you made the differentiation that it's not that they're giving it to you.
Right.
One is earned.
Mm-hmm.
Two, with that, it is just them backing the
Right.
loan,
Mm-hmm.
meaning the veteran still has to go through the process through
Mm-hmm.
the loan application and approval process.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to seek out a lender.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to choose whichever lender they desire. Um, go through the loan application process. Now, with that VA loan certificate, some lenders may be a little more lenient
Mm-hmm.
on the veteran than they would the uh, 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 a consumer who is not.
Mm-hmm.
That's at their discretion.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they still have some fees to pay.
Wow. Right. Right.
They have funding fees to pay,
Mm-hmm.
and the funding fees depends on the type of VA loan certificate they have.
Mm-hmm.
Last I remember, and I have to put that out there. The last that I remember, if
Mm-hmm.
you're active duty, with the VA loan certificate, you pay one funding fee. If
Right.
you were a reservist with a VA loan certificate, you paid a different funding fee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I recommend that anyone who does have a VA certificate make sure they do the research to
Mm-hmm.
find out and to make sure that they know what their funding fee is.
Okay.
Those funds are sometimes leveled out with first time home buyer programs.
Mm-hmm.
So the veteran doesn't have to come out of their pocket with as much money.
Right. Right.
So it's not that they just walk in the door and they have just carte blanche over everything. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't operate that way.
Yeah.
They have to make sure that they still have to go through the uh, the lending process as far
Okay.
as application
And if I
and approval.
and if,
Go
and
ahead,
if I
Sean.
can jump in there, when it comes to those interest rates that you talked
Mm-hmm.
about, the fact that it is being backed by the VA is
Right.
what allows them to offer a little bit lower interest rate.
Right.
And just for clarification,
Mm-hmm.
VA financing or VA backed financing is 100%. So there is no down payment
Right.
associated.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's a question for you guys because you guys are giving so much information. Balkis and Charles, I need you guys to do another show because this is so powerful because a lot of people don't know about the stuff that you're talking about and they don't know about the language of buying a home. And if you don't know the language and people be talking to you, you can be lost. And here's a
Absolutely.
question for you. I want you guys to come back on, but another thing I want to know, do you guys offer a class for those that are interested in investing in buying their first home? And how can they get in contact with you to get this information so that they won't be taken advantage of in this game called real estate and buying property?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I it's funny you asked one of those myriad of previous lives in real estate that I had. Um, as an investor, I used to offer a monthly mentoring
Yes.
um, option where for $500 a month, you
Mhm.
basically had an allotment of hours for me to
Mhm.
get online with you, get on the phone,
Mhm.
and really walk you through, answer any questions, and really
Yeah.
guide you through the process of
Mhm.
becoming a real estate investor. Um, Anyone can reach out to me as far as seminars concerned. We are going to looking to do some seminars. One of the other
Mhm.
team members is looking to set up some himself. So if you're interested in maybe hosting some seminars where you can get some folks either online or
Mhm.
inside of a room. I guess now with COVID, everything's being done via Zoom.
Right. Right.
But yeah, we can absolutely put together maybe some first time buyer seminars or
Mhm.
seminars, that's going to specialize in whatever area of real estate that, that people find a need to have someone to talk to. You can always find us. Um, I won't give out the new website just yet. As I said, we are going through a rebranding.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
am hoping to launch the new website, a new field for the Hayward Homes team
Mhm.
within the week.
Mhm.
Definitely the first right now is the target date, but it may happen a day or two earlier.
Okay.
That said, currently we are at DMV, as in DC Maryland Victor,
Mhm.
realestatestore.com. That's
Okay.
DMV realestatestore.com.
Mhm.
Of course, you can also find my digital business card or the team digital business card at
Mhm.
buyssellinvest.homes.
Okay.
That's homes, HOMES, buyssellinvest.homes.
Okay. Now that sounds like a plan because this is so needed. Yeah. I mean, can I just be honest with y'all? I'm very transparent, and that might be a good thing, or it can be a bad thing. I'm one of
Understood.
those people who didn't understand the language of real estate. And so a lot of the questions that I was asking were questions that I was having,
Yeah.
first time
Well,
homeowner. And like Marcus said in the beginning, that when you're lost, sometimes you just got to use the resources and ask for directions. And this is what I'm doing. I'm asking for directions, showing people that don't be afraid to ask questions, because this is
Absolutely.
the only way that we're going to know and have knowledge. And then also get those who know more than you that can teach you. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. So
Don't
you
be
guys
afraid.
have taught me a lot just sitting here, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's why I want you guys to come back on, because you have enlightened me in such a way, because I'm going to become a first time homeowner. And guess what, Balkis? When I asked that military question, Charles,
Yeah.
I was asking about me.
Well, listen, I have a wonderful lender
Yeah,
who has served me probably
mhm,
15 years with
yes,
my VA loans. She does a phenomenal job and
yeah,
really understands
mm,
the process.
yeah,
It's slightly different, but yes,
yes,
as you see, I am an open book as
yes,
well.
yes,
I love to educate
yes,
and bring people from a place of not knowing to a place of knowing.
yes,
This thing that we call life is can be a crazy thing. It's full of
yes,
ups and downs,
yes,
and sometimes just the right word
right, yes,
can change the trajectory of someone's entire life. And I believe in doing that, the lives of an entire
yes,
generation and lineage of people. So yes, I am fully committed to
yes.
providing information to you and whoever else you think.
Okay,
Maybe we do this once a month where we get online and we come
yeah,
up with a new topic, or just open it up for questions, and
yes.
we can be here to serve as much as we can.
Then we can do that, because I'm certainly enjoying it. My wife over there, she listening, she like, oh, she just gleaning. So you
Awesome.
guys are really helping us out. And Bacchus, can you please give us your information so that they can know how to get in contact with you? I can read it, but I want you to say it because it sounds better coming from you.
I can be reached at Belkis, that's B like boy, ALKIS at DMVRealEstateStore.com. Or I can be reached, you can text me at 301 437 8415, or you can go to www.belkiswalker.com.
All right, guys, I certainly appreciate you, but I have to do my signature closing. I hope you guys are up for it. And I always, and you got to get a little silly with it, because we just
Yeah.
going to do the, hey.
Hey, hello.
Hey guys, thank
I
you for
love it.
coming
I
up on the
love it.
Level Up Show, guys. We're going to do a part 2, part 3, and part 4, because this is great.
Yes.
I'm telling you, because it's great content, it's great information. At Level Up, we believe in education. We believe in putting out great content to let you know that you can achieve what you put out and seek to do. I believe in you. You believe in me. You teach me, I teach you, and we can be the best that we can be. Charles and Miss Barkis, thank you for coming on. You guys don't go anywhere. We're going to talk a little bit more. Thank you guys for watching Level Up. If you want to reach me, you can go on YouTube, Wayman Daniels Level Up. You can go on Instagram, Wayman Daniels, TikTok, Wayman Daniels, Facebook, Wayman Daniels. Wayman Daniels is everywhere on social media. All right, you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching.
Thanks,
Hey,
listener.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.